Alright, how's it going, football fans around the world? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and my predictions on the Manchester City versus Chelsea match at Stamford Bridge happening this Thursday. Let's get into it. Alright, so this is a huge match for both teams. For Man City, if they want to keep up with Arsenal, who just dropped points today, versus Newcastle, they have to capitalize on this match on Thursday at the Stamford Bridge. And then as for Chelsea, who are currently in 10th place right now, they're 10 points off of top 4 as of right now. And if they lose to us on Thursday, that will then turn into 13. It's a huge match for the both of us, right? If Chelsea want to start building some momentum and start, creating some run of form to get back to the top 4 conversations, to get back to competing for European football, then it's going to have to start very, very soon. And if they go out and get beat Thursday, it's going to very much feel like this Chelsea side will have nothing to do with the top 4 race. And then as for Manchester City, we are currently 8 points off of first from Arsenal. As I mentioned, Arsenal just dropped points versus Newcastle. So this is a huge opportunity for Man City to right their wrongs. Is that the saying? To right their whatever it was. You know what I mean. To get back some points after dropping 2 points to Everton at the Etihad. And at the Stamford Bridge is not easy. I don't care how bad Chelsea are. It's very rarely easy to go out to Stamford Bridge and get an easy 3 points. But some good news for Manchester City is that as of recently, ever since that Champions League L in the final, we've done pretty well versus Chelsea. We beat them in the Premier League at home and away. And then we've already beat them once this season in the League Cup. 2-0. It was a pretty comfortable win for Manchester City. We could have won by a lot more, and I could say the same thing about the previous 2 matches too in last season's Premier League. So Manchester City should be coming into this game with high hopes. I mean, they're the better team in form. They got a striker who is banging in goals left and right. Although we have been struggling, we're very up and down, and I would say this season we haven't created as much as we typically do in the previous seasons. When you got a striker like Haaland, and when you're going up against a Chelsea side who struggle in the midfield and struggle a bit defensively this season, they should be licking their lips at this game, right? This should be a huge game for Manchester City to go out and make a statement that we are still the top dogs in this league. I know we're not as of right now, right? You can't take that away from Arsenal. They have been the best team in the league. This would be a huge statement for Manchester City. Like I said, we're the better team in form, right? So there should be no problems. The only things that could be a little worrying for Manchester City is that Ruben Dias, like announced before the restart, is out for a month. And then what we just figured out a couple of days ago is now Aymeric Laporte is also going to be out. And that's bad news, but it's not terrible news. It's bad news for sure because that's our top 2 center backs. But what I also can say is that Akanji and Ake have been absolutely fantastic, I believe, this season. Is it the pairing that we want to go with week in and week out? No, not necessarily, but we can't really complain about those backups because they have been absolutely amazing this season. So what I worry most for me, honestly, is not even about Chelsea and the players and they got and what I think they can do to us. It's just desperate teams, man. Desperate teams. And what I wanted to say last week in Manchester City's draw at the Etihad to Everton is whenever, and I'm not saying Potter's on the hot seat, but he could potentially maybe, but whenever a manager is on the hot seat and you need your job saved, or you need something to give you an extra few weeks to figure things out, go to the Etihad. And although we're not at the Etihad, mainly just play Man City, right? If we think back to Aston Villa and Gerrard on the hot seat and was one bad performance away from being fired. He went to the Etihad, got a draw, bought him a couple extra weeks. Then again, Lampard, again, on the hot seat. And there's a lot more examples out here. I just can't think of it off the dome. But again, Lampard, starting to get on the hot seat, right? Everton, absolutely desperate for something. They're battling relegation. They go to the Etihad. They get a point after only having 1 attempt on goal, right? It is absolutely ridiculous how hard this Manchester City can fumble the bag and how, I don't know, like I've stated before this season, it just feels like other than Haaland, everyone else on the pitch and training is just playing possession. And it's just like, we have to be more clinical with our possession this season. We have an absolute amazing striker. Whenever we do force the ball upfield, and whenever we do start asking the question, Haaland has been there 9 times out of 10, and we just have to do that a little more. We have to be a bit better, and we have to be a bit more intense and have a bit more intent when we have the ball, not just kind of going through the motions, just pinging it here and there, you know, whatever. I feel like some of the Manchester City players get a bit lazy. I don't know if it's laziness or they get a bit, I don't know, they're just not fully intense, and I feel like they just think that we're going to pass a team to death and then win the game, and that's not always going to happen. You have to switch things up a bit, and that's what I want this Man City to do. But as I was mentioning before, what I'm scared of is, honest, the only thing I'm really scared of about this Chelsea match going to the Stamford Bridge is, 1, we're away, and 2, it's a desperate Chelsea side, and if there's a team you don't want to be playing against, is a team that is desperate, because then they'll just do anything, right? If things aren't going their way, let's say, screw it, let's try a few things here, and it could end up working. And that's my only fear about this Chelsea side. And I say this like Chelsea don't have talent. They do have talent. They got a lot of talented players who are more than capable of doing something fantastic on the field. But as we know, this season just hasn't been theirs. They have 7 wins, 4 draws, and 5 losses. So this Chelsea side, we can definitely get at this Chelsea side. We should get out this Chelsea side. We already have get out this Chelsea side. So you would think that this Thursday we would get at this Chelsea side, right? But as we know, football can be a very mysterious sport, and a lot of times it doesn't care about what should happen. But if I had to put money down on what is going to happen, which I kind of do, right? I do this little sports predictor thing. If you guess all 5 scores right, you win 50,000. And what I did and what I predicted in those predictions is for a Manchester City 3-1 win at the Stamford Bridge. The reason why I've done this is because we just dropped points to Everton, and if we're looking forward into Manchester City's schedule, it is not going to get any easier in the Premier League, right? Like, we faced Chelsea twice, Thursday in the Prem, and then we play them again in the FA Cup, I believe, in the weekend, or the League Cup, whatever it is. And then after that, we play Manchester United. And then after that, we play Spurs. This is not going to get any easier. We play Man United, who is in form, so we could potentially drop points, whether it be a loss or a draw. And then, as we know as Man City fans, we just always, without a doubt, without fail, lose to Spurs. So I feel like this Chelsea match is crucial for us to get full 3 points here. That's why I'm going for a Manchester City win. And also just because, like I said, we're the better team in form. Chelsea, they just can't get things figured out. And I fully expect this City side to want to come here and make a statement to right their wrongs from that draw versus Everton. And just get at this Chelsea side. There's no reason why they shouldn't. There is no reason why we shouldn't. We have the star power. I hope Pep Guardiola switches that front 3 from that last game versus Everton, and I hope we maybe see Phil Foden start, maybe even Alvarez out on the wing. I hope something changes, because it needs to. So yeah, that is my prediction on the Chelsea versus Manchester City at Stamford Bridge this Thursday. Let me know down in the comments down below what you guys think of the match. What are your guys' predictions for it? But yeah, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys after the match.